In this training video, I will show you how to navigate throughout the repository as a contributor. We'll identify the different features and menu items available to you from the home page. Please note, the number of menu items available is determined by the role permissions that your administrator assigned to you. So let's get started. I'm logging in as a contributor. Once I've entered my username and password from the login page, the repository homepage is displayed. The homepage is considered the gateway into the repository. The contributor will see the following. The New Jersey State Police logo is displayed in the middle of the repository, followed by the UCR header. A welcome message greets the user by the time of day, the user's name, and the agency that the user is assigned to. The breadcrumb shows the links that indicate the navigational path within the repository. The breadcrumb will expand or contrast as the user navigates throughout. This is useful to you, the user, because it tells you where you are within the repository portal. News displays news items created by the administrator. These news announcements are visible to the contributor for a set amount of days or months, as decided by the administrator. Use the gray scroll bar to the right to read additional content within each announcement. Resources. There are two locations for resources. One is in the upper right-hand corner below the username, right here. The other is here where this green panel is that says Resources, and it's located in the middle of the repository homepage. Resources is where you will find documents, training materials, job aids, data quality guidelines, FBI briefs, anything made available to the user by the administrator. The administrator uploads the resources to the repository. Then the user can open and then download the resources to his or her computer by clicking this download link. Please note that the user can click the blue dots or the green arrows to move from one resource to another or between one news item to another. And again, then once you've picked the resource that you wish to download, you just click the download link and it'll save to your computer. Now let's talk about the upper right-hand corner again of the home page. This is where your username is located, and if you click on it, a drop-down menu will appear. Here you'll find Profile. This is the user profile, which includes all of your user details, your user information and communication preferences. It also includes data editing preferences, login preferences, challenge question setup, assigned roles, and also the agency or agencies that you're assigned to. It also includes the purple reset button for password reset, as well as the green Save My Profile button for once you've made changes to your profile, you can save it here. Also in the upper right-hand corner, when you click under your name, you will see an area here between Profile and Resources that will eventually be the Contextual Help. Contextual Help will be available to the repository user, where you can find user documentation all about the repository, and this will be accessible to you. This is also again where you can find resources, the second location, and you can download by clicking on the link that's next to the download button. So these are additional resources. And if you go back up here and click again, here's also where you can log out. Coming down to where it highlights in yellow, if you click on Log Out, this will safely log you out of the repository. But for now, let's move on. Alerts. This is where system-generated alerts appear that are automatically sent to the user. the user can set up his or her alerts from the Edit Alert subscription, which is located in User Profile. So if you go to User Profile again and you click on Edit Alert Subscriptions button, from within the user profile, you can set up which alerts you wish to receive or not receive. So for example, the user is to receive alerts, if you wish, on failed logins. All you need to do is say yes. If not, click no. Or maybe you wish to import file processing errors. You wish to receive anything on import file processing errors. You would click yes or no, depending on which way you wish to receive them. So again, you make all the changes here, and then you can save by clicking the Update Event Subscriptions button here, and then click Return. But again, keep in mind that all of your alert notifications will appear here where the little bell symbol is. And if you click on the number, I have 9 alerts waiting for me to review. If I click on that, it'll show me those 9 alerts. I can scroll down to look at them, or I can click the See All Alerts link, and that opens up this new page where I can see date by date all of the different alerts that I've received. It'll scroll back pretty far. Here I can then decide whether I need to keep the alerts, and I can just keep them here, or if I wish to remove them, I can click on the purple Dismiss check mark, and that will remove that particular alert. Also, for better view, I can click the up arrow or the down arrow to make the view smaller or larger in terms of what's visible. If I'm done with all the alerts, I can click the Clear All button here that's green, and all of the alerts will be removed. In addition to alerts, there's also messages. There are 2 locations from which to look for received messages. First, the envelope icon here in the upper right-hand corner of the home page shows you if there are any messages to be read. So in my case, I have 2 messages that have been sent to me from other users within the repository. If there is a number in the circle next to the envelope, then that designates how many unread messages there are for the user to read. So if I click on that number, it shows me I have 2 that I have yet to read. It summarizes the information from the users. It shows me the subject and the sender and a date and time stamp. If I click the See All Messages, it opens up and shows me a search criteria area where I can take a look by clicking on the search button, and it then shows me all the received messages that I have. The ones that are in dark bold and are also jiggling up and down are ones that I've yet to open to review. To open them, I just click on the little arrow here and it'll open up that particular message. The one here that's not in bold means that I've already read this message, but I did not delete it. I must have wanted to save it to review later or to act on later. So this is why it's not in bold lettering. Also, if I have pages and pages of messages, received messages, I can click on this down arrow to go to the next page. In this case, I don't have any additional ones, so I can't show you page 2, but normally this would take me to page 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. I can also go to different rows by clicking on the row count, which is in increments of 10, 25, 50, and 100, and that'll take me to those particular rows if I have multiple received messages to go to filter through. I also can use, over here to the left, you can see that I'm on page 1. It's kind of faint, but that shows me that I'm on page 1 of all of my messages. I can click the right arrow or the left arrow to go forward or back. I can also click the double arrow to go to the very end of all of my received messages, or I can click the double arrow to go back to the beginning of all of my received arrows. So that's the navigational flow here for received messages. So that is received messages from the upper right-hand corner. If we go to the left side of the portal here, this is called the left menu bar. And as you can see, this is where we have different modules and submodules. The first one is home, which is where we are now. So if you're within the repository, maybe you're out in a different section of the repository and you wish to get back home, you can either click on the home module here, or you can click on the home hyperlinked breadcrumb here, and it'll take you back to this home page. The second module here is called Data Center. From the Data Center, agency users can create monthly reports, including new SRS reports, new cargo theft reports, new hate crime reports, etc. Working items are also located here, and that's just that. They are items that the user is working on but haven't yet finished or have submitted. Messages. We mentioned received messages up here where we have the little mail icon in the upper right hand corner, the envelope icon, but if you come over here to the left menu bar, there's also messages waiting for you here. So if I click on this module, it breaks down into 3 submodules: received messages, which is just like what we had up here in the upper right, sent messages, and new message. Again, received messages are sent from other users within the repository to you, the user. So if I click on it, it shows you this same window that we looked at earlier. If I click on Sent Messages will show me messages that I have sent and compiled and sent to other people. So if I click on the green search, it'll show that these are 2 messages that I sent out earlier. And it shows the recipient name, the sent date, the priority, and the subject line. If I wish to review what I sent to them, I can click on this arrow here to the far right, and it'll bring up that information of the sent message. So for example, this one. I click the purple return to move back one. There's also a delete button there. If I'm done looking at that received or that sent message, I can remove it there. So that's sent message. The other submodule is new message. If you click on new message, this will take you to this screen where you can scroll down, and this is where you can actually define who you wish to send a message to. So the right column here shows all the available recipients. All I would need to do is click on whichever people I wish to send the message to, and it'll take their information and go from the right column to the left. That means that these 2 people, Ima and Jean, are going to receive a message from me. I can put in a subject line, a priority, and then format my message here, write up my message and then format it any way I wish. And then once I'm ready to send it, I just click this green send button at the bottom, and that will send the message to these 2 people. Let's say that I decide I don't want to send to them. All I need to do is click on the remove all, and it'll move that information back to the right column. If I wish to send something out to everyone in the repository, I can click on add all, and all of that information, all the available recipients from the right, will shift to the left, and that means that everyone will receive the message that I send out. That would only be used in possibly in a situation where you really have like an emergency situation where you need to get word out to everyone, or some sort of important message needs to be sent. Normally you would just be sending to 1 or 2 recipients. So that is where you would create your new message and send it. Also on the left menu bar is something called FAQ. FAQ stands for Frequently Asked Questions. As a user, you can type a keyword that is usually NIBRS related or Group A or Group B offense related, and then you will receive brief description information. Let's see if we can click on FAQ here, and it takes you to the FAQ view here, where all you need to do is go ahead and put in a word that you wish to search on. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the word larceny, and if I click the search button here, the green one, it'll bring up the results for larceny, and that includes offense 280, offense 23, and offense 23H. All deal with larceny in one way or another. All I need to do is click on the down arrow, and it gives me a definition or description of that particular offense. I can use the up arrow to close or collapse that area, and same with the other ones. So that is frequently asked questions. All you need to do is put a keyword into the search box and then click search. Additional modules and submodules may be added or removed depending upon the changes to the user and the user's roles. So you may see this information here change over time. And so this basically concludes the repository training on how to navigate the repository homepage as contributor.